How you doing? Are you there? Welcome to the thing of the thing behind the thing of the thing. Can you hear me? There go my loud alarms. Alright, so I'm playing around with a different kind of setup today to see what I can do with this thing. So I want to make sure you can hear me. So could you type in chat and tell me yay or nay? You can see that the model is getting my head motion, right, and that it's flipped, right. Again, this is Virtual Magic Mirror, and you see my head movement on the Nexico, my 4K cam, and then there's another HD cam which is exclusively for the motion capture of the model in the viewport. I'm starting up a magnifier, and we're gonna run through the lowdown on the hoedown. Let's see. Well, one thing that I wanted to do from yesterday. It's my WordPress. That's my bookstore. It's my OBS manual. I'm going to use this actually. So my Google Classroom has now jumped into a pop-out. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to have another participant join the meeting. Oops. Here she comes, walking down the street, with the funniest little smile. Everyone see me. Okay, so she. Oh. Hey. Yeah. Okay, I got you, man. I was screwing up. You see, the man was trying to get in, and I didn't hit. I thought I had hit admit. I was like, what's the deal? Can't talk to him. What's broke? What's wrong with it? But as per usual, we figured it out.
So you can hear me now, David, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to let me in the Google meeting, and
You could hear me talking to you, and it was because I hadn't let you in. I couldn't talk to you. That's why. But you can hear me on Twitch now, right?
all right, and I'm getting getting you repeating everything. So
Turn
one of
off
your
the Twitch audio.
say that again.
Stop Twitch audio.
Uh,
Mute the tab. You can click on the tab and mute it if you want.
all right, I just muted the Twitch audio.
Okay, so how's that working? A little bit better?
Yeah, better.
Oh.
And I'm switching microphones and headset. In other words, I had bought a headset, but it was, tip, ring, sleeve, and it wasn't working, and I had to buy an adapter. So let me just test my microphone real quick.
All right. No worries.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah, even a little bit better.
Well, yeah, that mic is like, the other mic I was using was like a desktop mic that and this is actually a headset, so better. Cool.
All right. So I'm just I want to just try to go over to a quick maybe Sketchfab. Let me see. I'll try something simple. So I'm typing in interior scene. What is that? Free download. Gotta be free, right? And see if it's gonna bring me up to sketch. Free interior models. Sci-fi street scenes. I don't want anything this much rigmarole. I just want something simple. But we'll find it. Well, let me go over here again and look in accessories. And what we have is this. I was putting in GIB. It's actually GLB, the GLB format, right?
Right.
So, change that to an L. There you go. Sketchfab is what we always like to see. Oh. But, yeah. That, when I type interior scene and I get all these dang avatars, it's like, can you give me a break here for a minute? I'm tired of this. $30? What? Wow, they got some nice stuff on here. Low poly dojo interior. Okay, I sort of like the look of that. Oh, $19? Are you kidding me? No way. I need to see, sort by. I just need
children in the background.
What? Do you hear my daughter?
I do.
She's all right. All right, so let's see. Abandoned warehouse. Download 3D model. GLB download. Both of these are supposed to work. GLTF and GLB. And there you can see it's coming down up there up at the top. And since it's just the file, right, I can go into the folder where it is and copy it. And now close this out, shrink this back down, bring this over here, open the accessory folder, right there, and paste. All right, now let me get back into my OBS and see what I got. Okay, so when I open the accessory, that's in Documents Magic Mirror files, right? So reload, and then there it is. I have abandoned warehouse interior scene. And it's a big thing. I don't know. And it's also, it's probably attached. Yeah. It's, you see when I move my head, that model has now loaded in there.
And this is the warehouse?
Yeah. Now, when we go, let's see, where is it again? Open the setting menu. I'm looking for it's in some kind of accessories section somewhere. Motion, arm, open for, and I had it up yesterday. Just bear with me. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through this whole thing again till we get to the place where we need to be and talk about this warehouse issue when we get there. Now, all right, let's see. What is my time? It's 3:13 right now. So I'm going to treat this as if we just opened up Virtual Magic Mirror. We're going to go through from the very top all the way down. So the first thing we open Magic Mirror, is we have load the file from PC, and that's where you have the VRM file locally. When we load from the Vroid Hub, what's going to happen is we're going to see a Vroid Hub browser in the Vroid window, which is where the model appears. A lot of this thing is not very great. You know, it's almost like there's a lot of stuff that you have to buy when you're on the Vroid Hub, right? But there's a lot of stuff that you can only get it from the Vroid Hub if you had liked it on the Vroid Hub, and then it will only come to your machine if you load it through this software. You can't download the VRM and put it in another software. So the pitfall with this is if you go in here and you go, well, oh, okay, I'll go over to the VRoid Hub. I'll open the VRoid Hub URL. I'll go over there and I'll like everything that I want to look at, and then I'll just go down the line. Well, it doesn't load everything that you like. It's not very robust. I can't even make sense of how it does load what it does load. Now, load current VRM on next startup and adjust size by VRM. All right, I'm going to jump out right quick and take a look at what this means. So, say I load from the VRoid Hub. Notice my character window went blank, right? Or this bar is now appearing on the top of it. All right, so I have to bring that up and go to the liked section and then pick a model, accept the terms of the license, and then download it from the VRoid Hub. All right, so you can see this is like a model of a little kid, right? And so now you're kind of in a situation, right? What the hell are you going to do? Well, that's where it's an advantage to have this adjust size by VRM, right? Well, you click on it. Well, that still hasn't completely. Okay, no. I once I actually started typing, then it was good. Okay, so then I can go into free camera mode and set up my shots for my character. Got me? All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to load the original file back from PC. So I'm using both of them. And it should be loading. Now it's almost up. What am I going to do? All right, so I hit this, adjust size by VRM, right? And that's kind of got me halfway there. I jump over to my streaming panel, and I do a quick load. Those are previous setup scenes, and you can see the warehouse issue that we have, right? So I'm going to have to get that fixed here in a second. So get this exactly like I want it to be. All right, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit quick save. That's going to save that as a camera position. Now I can go to position 2, position 3, previously saved, and then position 1. There we go. I'm also thinking that my my textures have not loaded on this model. I wanted to run through that today, but the baby called me in the other room so many times, and I was trying to get software working. I'm trying to get her streaming set up in that other room. We completely tore up what we had set up in here, and I was putting down a new floor, and I just couldn't get get the dang thing done before class. So my apologies. All right, so that's this first panel. Other preferences, I have choices between 3 languages, Japanese, English, and Chinese simplified, and start on Windows startup. So if you have a machine that's set up that you're really going to stream from all the time, it could be convenient to click that. All right, now this is the manual. Open the manual URL. That's going to open a web page. Pretty self-explanatory. This is for taking screenshots. These are for the setting files. You can set everything up in a panel and then hit save, right? And then you'll be able to load that again. and export the information or import the information. Like you could export it as a file and then send it to another machine and then load it on another machine to get a complicated setup instantly on your system. And you've got a reset settings button to get rid of all that if you want to. All right, so we went over the transparent window. So you can see this module actually has my camera loaded behind it. When I put transparent window, you can see there's the Nexico behind it. And background image loading. Let's see. Go into images and see if I can get something interesting. That's kind of cool. Well, yeah, I like that even better. All right. Now, when I'm in a transparent window, I've got this when transparent parentheses drag character. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to move this over here so you can see it. This is actually the window. I'm in the mode to manually adjust the position, but this is what it means when I've got a transparent background and I mouse over the window, it's going to go transparent. When I pull away, it's going to go back to normal, right? So I'm going to put this back off over here out of the way again, and that's what that is. Okay, so I'm going to turn off transparent window and go back to this load. Now you can see it's getting my head movement. The lip sync is from the microphone USB, and I can hit the show volume. How is my audio, by the way? You still there?
Sounds good. I'm muted on my end, so yeah.
Oh, okay. The fan noise, the reason I had it turned off is because got a big fan in the room. It's been really hot, but all right. So high power mode. All this does is it makes it theoretically track better, right? At the expense of CPU demand, right? Or at the expense of performance, right? So turn it on and off and look at what works better. That's the way it's working. Pretty good. But I cannot get that. It's not that dang high power. You know what I mean? If I'm like, I can kind of go like this, but slowly, right? But if I start to move fast, it's too much for it. This is where the look is going to, right? And I prefer the mouse. The thing about what's going on, like you see how she's looking to that way and looking that way, right? My head is moving her, but also I have a little bit of fine control by wandering the mouse around the screen. So if I want to do that, I can do that. All right, I just like that. And hands down mode, I'm typing, right, and she's not responding, right? Enable twist motion. I think it gives me more realistic movement, but it can cause problems with certain avatars. Turn it off if you have a problem. Key mouse motion. It can be presentation. Here we have the weather report. Okay, I've got a relative to the window, right? See how our arm is all jacked up? It's like now I have moved the window over to where I can stretch her arm out more normally with respect to this thing. So I could have her indicating things on a map. I would have to have a setup for that, right? All right, but if I do that, you see that's got her arm all jacked up, right? Pen tablet. Okay, here she's typing and she's working on the drawing, right? On pen tablet or none. she does nothing. Like, so when I go to none, like for example, if I go to hands down mode, well, let's turn it back off and go to default. Okay, that's sort of what I want. So when I have her in the position that I sort of like want, right, then I could go to none and she's going to stop. All that stuff is going to stop. And you see how I got that? Just this kind of control, right? Let's see. All right. All right, so gamepad motion, likewise. Well, this question came up yesterday. I have an arcade stick. But I don't have it in here. It's kind of most likely going to be set up in another streaming room. But theoretically, I guess a stick is going to appear as an icon if you have one, but maybe not, right? Because remember over here in the view panel, we turn on gamepad. If we turn on gamepad, a gamepad is then going to appear, right? And avatar shadow does not refer to anything but the shadow cast by the avatar based on the position of the light on the avatar. The specular and ambient occlusion effects of the shader is burned to the model in VRoid Studio, right? So they can be altered. The shader effect can be altered by the lighting positioning within VRoid Studio, but this, we often confuse the shadow cast with the shadowing. That is something that's actually happening with the ambient occlusion effect or shader effect on the surface of the model itself. Wind, I can turn wind off and then the hair will not be responding to the wind. I'll go into a little bit about how to calibrate the hair with the wind so it looks better in a few minutes. The desktop color-based lighting is going to pick up whatever the desktop light is, and since it's mostly dark, right, this is not really good, so I don't want it. Now, the other thing is your keyboard effects. She either just types. Let's see. I wanna go back to default and turn off the gamepad. And so here she's typing, but there's no typing effect, right? So I could have text. And wait, let's see if I can get a better. You see the little letters are flying off and drifting down as she types, right? Or we can go to light. And this is the one that I usually settle on. I kind of like that. I wish they could let me calibrate the color. It's got that, what is that, cyan or something? It's always confused cyan and magenta. Butterflies. So I just type in these little butterflies are flying off of her fingertips. La la la. Okay, I don't like that very much. All right. Then if I go out of free camera mode, I cannot. Like, I'm doing a mouse over right now and attempting to move the model, and I can't. So here's a right mouse. I'm going to turn it back on. Here's a right mouse. Now I can calibrate the model again. All right. And when I've got it like I want it, typically I'm going to turn this off. I'll leave it on for the time being. All right. Now, device layout. This is where you're going to, like, you can actually go in there and tweak the position of everything that you have. Now you can see way off in the back here is the pivot point of this warehouse model, right? And I can move that around. I can adjust this exactly how I want it. So again, if we go back to the home screen, we can adjust size by VRM, then go back to streaming and load our position. We've got that back, but this is where you can do it manually. All right, so I'm going to turn that off for the time being. Word to motion. This particular setting, it can be set to, if you type the word, which you can set up a word like joy, mad, sad, and when you type that word, you're going to get a blend shape or a morph target or an emote, as they call it, right? Those are all words for the same thing. It's a transformation of the model that is not generated by a bone transformation. Typically, it's generated by a vector transformation, which modifies the surface. So I've got it set up for a keyboard, and I've configured it so oh, she's mad now. Oh, she's mad. Okay, now she's sad. Okay, now she's glib, I guess. And hey, what's up, peoples? Right now, when you're when you're developing in Unity or Unreal Engine, typically a lot of these systems, Sansar, you'll set up an avatar in the scene, and like in some applications it's node based, so the avatar will be sitting there as a node, and then you can drop in motion capture data. So they have this limited set of like emotes or whatever, right? But they could put really as many as they want to in there. The software developers could do that, and you could just have all kinds of behaviors that the model could engage in. And this is something that you get more of in applications like VUP, which now you have to buy it. It was free for a while they're developing it, but it's got a more advanced motion capture capability. This is the clapping. Okay. Nodding. She's having a seizure. Right. So typically these are animation files that have to play through to the end. So if you start clicking really fast, it's gonna start it over at the beginning, and it's gonna give you that sort of skipping effect. I was just playing around. All right. External tracker. This we'll come back to later. We're what I'm currently interested in finding out. Like typically, what people do is they have an iPhone, and they put this synchronization facial motion capture software on the iPhone. They connect it to this application via IP, the phone's IP address, and then they can act and send expressions directly from their face to the character. And all that comes into play when we do that. So since we're running from PC here, what I'm interested in finding out is if, and I mentioned this yesterday, the most popular iOS emulator, or one of the ones that's listed high in the rankings, is the Delta iOS emulator, which you have to, if you want to deploy it to a device or something, you have to download it from the alt store. When they started to make it, this is an interesting story, and I don't know all the gory details, but the company went to Apple and said, we're making an emulator for the iPhone. Can we put it in the App Store? And legend has it that they said, yeah, you can put it in the App Store. And then after they made the decision, hey, we don't want people to put an emulator on their phone and make their phone be an iPhone. That sucks. So they wouldn't let them put it in the App Store anymore. So the company was already into the project, and they were like, well, let's just make another deployment. Let's just go make another deployment to device system, and they called it the Alt Store. Right. And I'm sure it's very doable, but I just haven't yet done it because I'm not I'm pressed for time over here. Got all these fish tanks and basil. I let my hydroponic system dry out the other day and killed a bunch of basil plants. I was so sad. Okay, so onward and upward. Accessory. All right, and free layout and select. Okay, this is the reason why. When I was in here earlier, I was like, where is that dang thing? And what it is you have to select. Okay, this is why I was stuck. Okay, so when I'm not, let me uncheck this. Now it's open, it won't close. Let's see, reload. Oh, here's a drop down. Okay. So there's this hat. Oh yeah. If you remember yesterday, you see, and let's open this up. This is the thing I couldn't find earlier. I was like, I'm just going to go through until we get to this thing. Right. Okay. By default, I think, they just evaluated, they said, what are most people doing with these accessories? Well, they're putting in a nose ring or earrings or, a hat or, something, fox ears or something like that. Since that was the predominant thing, they made the default attachment to the head, right? And when we got on, like I went over to Sketchfab and I got this hat for her. Let me jump back over to streaming and back up so you can see her with her hat on, right? Her hair's poking through it. And it's a little bit of a pain in the butt, depending on where the pivot point of the object that you got from Sketchfab is. You're going to have to find out how it's going to have to be set up. So I'm going to go back here and go back over to accessory. How am I doing for time? Okay, good. All right, so by default, it's attached to the head. And then it turned out that, okay, first of all, coordinate systems, right? We're in a, like a rectangular coordinate system, and it's the model, her face, right, when she's looking straight ahead, it's as if she's on a piece of graph paper, and that's the XY plane. And the three-dimensional axis is coming right out and pointing right out in front of her. That's the Z-axis. Now, that's important because when you're working with different modeling systems, whether you're in Houdini or you're in Maya or you're in 3D Studio Max or Blender or whatever, a lot of times, people put the XY plane, they put the very common thing when you're sitting at a desk and you've got a piece of graph paper in front of you, the increasing y-axis is moving away from you and the increasing x-axis is moving to your right, right? So the z-axis comes straight up out of the paper. And in it, when you're sitting there and you're doing math, oh, hey, Traintastic, I just noticed Traintastic sent me a, man, I've been depressed too. We should have been talking, man. I'm trying to stay out of depression. Oh, man, I had some really tough times. But yeah, we should try to keep in touch and talk more. But I also wanted to talk about diet. As I've gotten older, I've really discovered some things about eating that really contribute to making you feel better or depressed or whatever. It's called inflammatory foods, right? And you should always look at a list of what is inflammatory and what is not inflammatory and what is anti-inflammatory. And you should eat only non-inflammatory food and anti-inflammatory food. And that means no French fries, man. McDonald's French fries, no. No Popeyes, no, right? You don't realize it, but it's burning you in your body, right? And it contributes to when you start to get older, when you feel joint pain and stuff like that. It's all has to do with your diet. Yeah, and I was kind of talking to you. Ken Traintastic has joined the class from Twitch. Okay. So I wish I had been more on the ball about using the magnifier today, but actually, I can turn over a new leaf right now. So yeah, when you put in an accessory here to modify things, like what I loaded is I loaded this abandoned warehouse interior scene, right? And I'm gonna turn the hat off, and I'm just gonna wait a second. I'm gonna calibrate my scene here. This is the thing that I wish. So I just grabbed on, I guess it was Sketchfab, an abandoned warehouse interior scene, and to make it appear, I check it. And note that it's attached to the head, and I should not do that. I should have it attached to the world. Right now, I don't know what's happened, but I'm about to find out. Let's see. And it's really close to being zeroed out. So let's go and see what the default setting took us to. So I would expect her to be in the zero space of the model, but she's not. I'm gonna. What I am going to do, let's see, is see where this warehouse thing is. I've locked it to the world, so now it should not be moving with her anymore, but it's a question of getting it into the right position to appear as a background around her. I've got free camera mode activated. Okay, let me see. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we see. All right. So the model is there, ladies and gentlemen. You saw it first here. All right, so positive Z, theoretically, right? If I increase this number, say I increase it to 1, that should move it further in front of her, if what I've just said is correct. It could have been wrong. 10. Yes. Okay, so I'm right. The positive Z-axis is coming straight out from her chest. Now think about this. Like if you're on a sheet of paper, the one coordinate system, if the model or the layout of the skeleton, it would be as if she was lying flat down on the paper, right? And some developers are like, well, no, they're thinking about all the design of what they're doing and the mathematics and everything that they're calculating. And they're like, well, no, the paper is flat down and the model is standing straight up. So it's a very common problem that you have an avatar with a skeleton and its axes are with XY on the bottom, right? And positive Y going towards the rear of the model, the further behind the model you are, the larger the y coordinate is, and the further to the right facing the model, the larger the x coordinate is. And these systems don't work together. If you have an avatar that's set up in the one system, you're going to have to go through some format changes, and sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's a big pain in the butt to convert. So this is a thing you would see like on a product like Sansar, when people are doing game development on Sansar. They would see, here's this cool avatar. I want to grab it off CG Trader and bring it into this platform, and the coordinate system was wrong, and then it's all messed up and toe up, and looks like Skeletor went through the Cuisinart. That's what happens when you, because it's awful to the mathematics to change the coordinate system to a mesh bound to a bone system or whatever. Change it like that, it's going to explode that model and stretch it like octopus. It's going to be horrible. So you can find that sometimes. So I'm going to go, let's see, and change this then to -1, or let's try -2. All right. How about -5, and see she's doing her. All right, now, there you go. She's in the building, folks. Right? Now, where is my incredible materials? Oh, and is she standing on the floor? Or, let's see. No, she's way up in the air. So, this is another problem. It looks like the model with respect to the avatars is a pretty good match. But according to my theory, I need to put maybe, let's try 5. And now notice, to get it, I type it in, but it doesn't take. But if I I hit rotation there. I should not have done that. You see how that says rotation? I'm sorry. I should have put this in here. Because rotation is going to give me a rotation of 5 degrees, right? So when I click off of that, okay, that's too much. Let's see, 1. I'm thinking that's about 1 meter. 2. Click off of it. See, is she on the floor yet? No, she's still way up in the air. 3. Okay, that's perfect. Let's see. 2.5. Almost perfect. Well, no, it's not. Let's see. Nine. Wait a minute here. This is what you run into with this kind of thing, though. So she's in the floor right there. So I need something like 2.95. There you go. There, now, yeah. Let's see, 2.97.
You just got your 15-minute warning.
Okay, good. I think I'm on time and stuff. Now, okay, now I have her in the building exactly where I want her to be. Now, what I would say and you can see there's her shadow being cast back into the room onto the model. Now, let's see. Accessories. When I downloaded this thing, I don't think I got the textures right. It doesn't look, it looks like there's some shader stuff going on, but the textures are definitely not there. And I'd rather go figure that out. All right. Hold on a second. Okay, take care, Traintastic, and I hope you feel better. We all go through it, man. It's a tough world. Thanks for tuning in. The thing that is cool about this is that if you can do this much in the model, you can set up, you could fake like multiple characters by running several instances of Virtual Magic Mirror. It's easy to run them on 2 instances on an i5. You see the 2 avatars that are in that other computer participating in the class. They're really just 2 instances, and I'm pretty sure there could be a way of setting up 2, like if you wanted to have 2 characters with each other, like talking to each other. A typical scenario, it's like gamers could put a Discord group call and use the Discord group call to trigger the facial motion capture, etc., and act, with it. So it's kind of cool. All right, so again, the key is opening this. When I started in earlier, I was like, where is that again? I didn't see where that was. You have to go in. First thing you do is you go into the Documents folder. In the Documents folder, there's a Virtual Magic Mirror Files folder. And in that folder, there's an accessory folder. And you drop your GLTF or whatever, GLB file in there. And then it appears in the panel, and you can just load it if you want. Hand tracking. We can do this time. Right. So, let me see. Enable hand tracking. All right. Now, see this? Right. Now, why did it? Right. And let me hold on. See, it's picking up my hands on the camera. All right, let's see. Show detection status. Okay, so there you go. All right. So, if I was Donald Trump, I would be doing this and doing this and doing, you know how he does. He's like, but can you see that? You can see where it's picking up my hands as a series of motion capture dots on the camera. Now the deal is they think this is so cool that they want you to pay if you want to have this. So they put this distortion effect on it. Standard edition puts visual effect during hand tracking. It means they trash the image, and you don't get any of your Unity shader stuff unless you buy the full version, right? But it is there, and it's using my USB $5 USB camera that's sitting on top of the HD monitor. I have cameras in two positions. One is right. I'm putting my hand out right towards it. Right, that's where it is, on top of my primary display monitor, and then my 4K camera is here. Right, that's the one that you're seeing my face on. All right. Again, let's see. Where's my time? Okay. Looking at my time thing. The settings window is going to just give you a little bit more. Like you have this, all the settings that we just went through. All those panels are in here as well, but they've got more options. You can calibrate the transparency level. You can set your chroma key color, for example. Whereas let's just compare right quick. If you're on the window group on streaming, it just shows these items here. Whereas here you get additional. When transparent, always in the foreground, I can turn that on, and reset character position is directly on that panel. And additional settings, calibration of the transparency. I've made my transparency set to be higher. It's usually like 128, which is half transparent. So mine is set to be more transparent. In the face settings, we've got some little tweaks that we can add to the motion tracking, and if it's not detecting you right, you can hit calibrate position, and if the webcam is turned off, it says use the sound to make the move and make the movement of the mouth. The eye is you can control the way it blinks, etc., and you can have eye movement happen when you're showing an emoji and stuff. There's more settings like that in there. Disabling blend shape interpolation. I guess that's just going to give you some. It's going to make it more jerky and cartoony looking if you disable that. I wanna bring this to an end before the Google Meet dies off. I appreciate the people that tuned in on Twitch. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll go over it. I want to actually go over the setting window panel and everything that it does in detail next time.
Okay, we'll see you Monday.
All right. You take care.
You too. Thank you, David.
All right.